Yes, yes. Let's.
There we go. All right. I did it. Okay. Hey, Alan, how are you? Thank you for having me. Hi, everybody.
Oh, we are so excited to have you. Actually, today's show, Carl is one of these funny comedians that are just funny in a conversation. So we decided to have a conversation. Is that right, Carl?
That's funny. Yes. And now what's interesting about me being on your show is because I've been watching your show regularly, Alan. And everybody, you always have these other guest entertainers that work ships from China. You had a guy from Indonesia, from Peru, from Chile, and I'm about 100 yards from you in the next townhouse complex.
That's true. That's true. I meet Carl every day when we walk the dogs. I meet him every single day, and it is so funny walking the dog or on stage.
And we both didn't know that we were cruise ship entertainers because I had other neighbors ask me, "Do you know Alan? He works on ships also." I said, "He does? I don't know." That was funny how we met.
It is crazy, and we never met on a ship. Actually, we just met
No, we
walking
never
the
worked
dog.
on a ship together, right? By the way, Happy Veterans Day. I never knew that, right? You served in the Israeli army. That's great.
Yes.
I wore the uniform also when I was younger. I was a Cub Scout.
You were what?
I was a Cub Scout.
Boy Scout.
Boy Scout, a Cub Scout. Cub Scout is funnier. It's younger and it's a quicker word. Cub Scout, it's a funny word. So.
Hey, Carl, are you staying safe during the pandemic?
I'm trying to as much as I can. In fact, I tested negative for an IQ. So that's good. Everybody knew that. And then actually, I was reading in the paper, Alan, that sales of alcohol, beer, and wine in the last 8 months have gone up 55% sales of beer and wine. And that's just in my house. That's so I've been very careful. But I want to show you, I have been wearing a mask. I have to show you my mask. Ready? This is my mask, folks. I got this. If you can see this, I got this. You can buy these at Walmart. You get like 7 of these for like $8, $10, and they're made by Hanes. Hanes, the underwear people. Yes, it's the same material as underwear. If you can see this, I am wearing tidy whities on my face.
Well, I
have underwear on my face at the store.
I sure hope it's not recycled material.
Right. Oh yeah. And they even have a space for my nose too. That's the funny part. And doctors are saying now. I was reading that doctors are saying that I should have a mask even when you're indoors, even if at night, if you're with your partner late at night and you're being intimate, you should wear a mask. So my wife told me this, and she went out and she bought me a mask of George Clooney. So that's what I have that. And it's hard to understand people too when you're wearing a mask. You go to the store, it's hard to communicate because you have trouble hearing each other because you have a mask on. Like I wanted to clean my floors, so I was gonna buy a mop, and somebody told me, no, you have to buy a Swiffer to clean the floor. So I went to a Target, and there was a clerk there, and she was wearing a mask. I was wearing the mask. We had trouble understanding each other. I said, do you have a Swiffer? And she said, yes, I have a Swiffer and a brother. So I call it mask communication instead of miscommunication.
Oh man, that's funny. Talking about brothers, you come from a big family.
Yes, I am the 5th of 10 children. Yes, I'm the 5th one. That's why I am the neurotic comedian. And my parents were immigrants, and my father was a very strict, old school Latin man, and everybody had to work hard. There were no slackers in my house. In my immediate family, there's a former Marine / CPA. There's 2 nurses. There's a cop. There's a teacher. There are 2 multiple business owners and 1 stand-up comedian.
There has to be one in the family. You're from New York, right?
I'm originally from New York, but I moved down to Miami because I wanted to get away from the crime. So I figured I'd move to Florida. For real, I came down here for 1 year, and that was 26 years ago. I'd like to go back from Miami to New York, but I forgot my passport. I can't find it anywhere. So they're not going to let me out of. They're not going to let me out of Dade County.
Yeah. Now I don't know if everybody noticed, but you put on Zoom, you put Carlos instead of Carl.
Carlos, yes, that's my real name because I have an interesting ethnic background. My parents are immigrants, like I just said. They both came over from Colombia in the late 1950s, but my father was half Italian, and my mother's family, I just found this out a few years ago, my mother's family was from Spain, and they were Sephardic Jewish. So I'm Colombian, Italian, and Jewish. How's that for a combination?
Good combination.
Yes, I can make you a drug deal offer you can't refuse wholesale.
What a deal.
Thank you. I don't wear a yarmulke. I wear a tortilla shell.
So what's your whole name?
My real name, my real name is Carlos. Carlos is my real name. It's interesting. I have three names actually, because Carlos is my real name. My working stage name is Carl, but my nickname growing up, all my siblings and all my friends called me Charlie. So I'm Carlos because Charlie is Carlitos, is Charles in Spanish, Carlitos.
Carlos
so I'm Carlos, Carl, and
Carlos.
Charlie. My real, actual, formal Latin name is Carlos Eduardo Guerra Burgos Alvarez de la Valle de la Vega. Yes.
Okay.
But you can call me Chuck. And my dog's name is Rover Fido Rex Ruff de la Taco Bell Chihuahua. You know, Alan, I took my dog to the dog park that's about a mile from us here in North Miami Beach. And I'm walking with my dog. There's a bunch of other people there. And this guy starts shouting out, Carlos, Carlos. And myself and like 50 other guys, we go, what? Yeah. No, the guy named his dog Carlos. You know, you don't live in Miami and name your dog Carlos. It's like living in Jersey and naming your dog Vinny. So, you know, incidentally, I am also part Italian. My father was half Italian, and my favorite Italian personally is a guy named Jacuzzi. He's my favorite Italian. Any of you guys Italian? Because he's the guy who invented the jacuzzi. What a great name for that product. What if the guy were like Norwegian or Jewish? You know, life at the gym would sound different. You know, after my workout, I'm going to take a nice long hot soak in the Hey, happy anniversary, honey. Let's get some champagne, get our swimsuits on, and hop into the Finkelstein. What do you say? Doesn't sound the same. Alan actually went to Colombia on a cruise ship about pre-COVID, when I used to work cruise ships all the time. About a year ago, I got off on a ship. I went from Fort Lauderdale, and I got off 3 days later in a city called Cartagena, Colombia, where my mother's from. And then I flew back to Miami. And you know what happens, Carlos, and you're traveling by yourself on a one-way ticket from Colombia to Miami? Do you know what happens? U.S. Customs gives you a free prostate check. And I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah, I see that you have a big smile on your face after that.
Yes, I did. His name is Jack. He drives a Porsche. No. I only have one child. I have one kid.
Tell us about your kid.
Fifth of 10. I only have one. You've never met my son, have you? No, because he lives.
I think I met him once when you came. I met him once when you were walking the dog with him.
Yeah. Okay. Right. You met him once. Right. He'll be here for Thanksgiving, but he lives in New York. But he grew up in Miami, and when he was a little kid, I took him to see Santa Claus right here at the Aventura Mall during Christmas. And he sat on Santa's lap and he was all excited. And he said, Santa, I want Hot Wheels, a G.I. Joe, a Tonka truck, and a new soccer ball. And Santa Claus leaned over and he had this big smile on his face. And he looked right into my son's eyes. And you know what he said? No hablo inglés. That really happened. Now, my son now, he lives in New York. He lives in New York. So I went to visit him pre-COVID. He lives way up in Hamilton Heights, way up on the Upper East West Side, way up above Harlem. So I went to visit him, and then we're walking around the street. And then, first of all, I raised him. He grew up in Miami. I raised him to be a very nice, polite young man. So he's been in New York now for 3 years. I go to visit him. We're walking around the street. I guess we didn't cross the street fast enough, and a cabbie starts honking this horn at us. You know what my son did? He flipped him the bird, and he told him where to shove his horn. I said, Dylan, I'm so proud of you. You've turned into a real New Yorker. And then, but he's a great kid. I love him. He's a writer for radio. He writes music for radio. He also has a show on Twitch that's sponsored by AMC. If you're familiar with that TV show, The Walking Dead on AMC, he does a show about The Walking Dead. It's sponsored by AMC. He's on like 3 times a week. It's got a huge following online. It's called Twitch TV, The Walking Dead universe. But he's a writer. He's had 3 of his works produced off Broadway. And he wrote a play once about what it was like growing up with a father who's a comedian. And I told him, Dylan, when this play gets produced, I want to audition for the role of me, your father. He said, Dad, you're not right for the part. I'm sorry. I'm going in a different direction.
Oh my God. Nice plug there, by the way. Hey, do you miss working on ships, by the way?
But at that age, my son's 26. Him and his all he does is walk around texting. That's all he does. This is my son texting me. Hi, Dad. How are you? Had a great day at work today. After work, I'm going out to dinner and a movie with my friends. I'll call you when I get back home. Thank you. Love you, said. This is me texting back. Okay. Send. Duh. That's the way it is with them. Anyway, Alan, I want to leave you, because it's Veterans Day, I want to leave you with one quick story. I had the honor to perform for our troops. I went down to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, courtesy of the U.S. Navy, and I did a bunch of shows for all the troops there. And the camp commander told me the story after my show about this tough guy. He goes to a tough guy bar and he orders a drink. And the bartender said, you know something? This is a tough guy bar. If you want to have a drink here, you got to tell me why you're a tough guy. And the barman said, I'll tell you why I'm tough. I was swimming in the ocean and a shark came by and bit off my arm. You know what I did? I took my good arm, boom, I punched that shark right in the nose. I took my arm out of his mouth and I swam out of that ocean and I ran 1 mile back to my house. I took that arm, I put it right back on my shoulder and I sewed it on by myself with a needle and a thread, with no doctor and no anesthesia. Arr. Bartender said, wow, you are tough. In fact, you are so tough, I am going to let you drink for free all night. And the guy goes, all right. That's my Veterans Day joke. Anyway, thank you for having me on the show, Alan. Happy Veterans Day, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Carl. And I'll see you after the show.
Thank you for watching. If you would like to participate on our weekly happy hour show, you can find a link to sign up in the description below. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel by clicking right here, and don't forget to click on the bell so you are notified every time we publish new videos. To watch the next episode of the Happy Hour, go ahead and click here.